Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Patrice. In this video, we will be doing a library book haul. And now let's get started. First, I have a update on the channel. So like some other booktubers, I have gotten a new job. So if you notice, I am in the same outfit. That is because I am batch recording. I wanted to make sure I still had some videos to put up in case I get busy with training or just the stress of starting a new job. So you will still have new videos, and maybe I will come on and let you guys know how I'm doing in this job. It's a new area for me. I will be working in a hospital, and um, yeah, I'm excited and nervous at the same time. But let's get back to this haul video. The first book in my haul is The Sirens by Emilia Hart. And this is a fantasy, magical realism slash historical fiction. And I will read you the summary. 2019. Lucy awakens from a dream to find her hands around her ex-lover's throat. Horrified, she flees to her older sister's house on the Australian coast, hoping she can help explain the strangely vivid nightmare that preceded the attack. But Jess is nowhere to be found. As Lucy awaits her return, the rumors surrounding Jess's strange small town start to emerge. Numerous men have gone missing at sea, spread over decades. A tiny baby was found hidden in a cave, and sailors tell of hearing women's voices on the waves. Desperate for answers, Lucy finds and begins to read her sister's adolescent diary. 1999. Jess is a lonely 16-year-old in a rural town in the middle of the continent. Diagnosed with a rare allergy to water, she has always felt different until her young, charming art teacher takes an interest in her drawings, seeing a power and maturity in them and in her that no one else has. 1800. Twin sisters Mary and Eliza have been torn from their loving father in Ireland and forced onto a convict ship bound for Australia. For their entire lives, they feared the ocean as their mother tragically drowned when they were just girls. Yet, as the boat bears them further and further from all they know, they begin to notice changes in their bodies that they can't explain, and they feel the sea beginning to call to them. A breathtaking tale of female resilience and the bonds of sisterhood across time and space, The Sirens captures the power of dreams and the mystery and magic of the sea. So I picked this up because I love mermaids, so I feel like there's going to be some mermaids in here, and I like how it's sort of like a retelling of the Sirens myths, where they lured sailors, to jump into the water and to take them down in the sea with them. So this sounds like it's going to be something to deal with all of that stuff. So I am very interested to see how this one goes. The next book in my haul is The Silversmith's Puzzle by Nev March, and this is a cozy mystery. This is actually the fourth book in the Captain Jim and Lady Diana series, and I will read the summary. In 1894, colonial India, Lady Diana's family has lost their fortune in a global financial slump. But even worse, her brother Adi is accused of murder. Desperate to save him from the gallows, Captain Jim and Lady Diana rush back to Bombay. However, the traditional Parsi community finds Jim and Diana's marriage taboo and shuns them. The dying words of Addie's business partner, a silversmith, are perplexing. As Captain Jim peels back the curtains on this man's life, he finds a trail of unpaid bills, broken promises, lies, and secrets. Why was the silversmith so frantic for gold? And where is it? What awful truth does it represent? Set in lush late Victorian India, Captain Jim and Diana struggle with the complexities of caste, tradition, and loyalty. Their success in their own lives may depend on Diana, who sacrificed her inheritance for love. Someone within their circle has the key to this puzzle. Can she find a way to reconnect with the tight community that threw them aside? So I really enjoy this series, and I was so happy to find a new book at my library. Um, just a little background into why Captain Jim and Lady Diana's marriage is like so taboo. So Captain Jim, he is mixed race. His mother is Indian and his father is a white Englishman. And then Diana's family and like her community are Parsi. So they like to marry in the community, and Jim is not Parsi and he's mixed race, which is like a big deal as well. So yeah, this should be pretty good. I'm looking forward to continuing this series, so I hope this one is as good as the others. The next book on my list is A Botanist's Guide to Society and Secrets by Kate Khavari. And this is a Saffron Everly mystery. And I enjoyed this series. I read the first two books, and this is the third book in the series. And I realized that I missed quite a few books in this series because she has a new one out. And in reading the inside, I'm like, wait a minute, I've missed like 2 or 3 books in this series. So this is me trying to catch up with the series with the third book. And the summary says, London, 1923. Returning from Paris, botanical researcher Saffron Everly finds that her former love interest, Alexander Ashton's brother Adrian, is being investigated for murder. A Russian scientist working for the English government has been poisoned and expired in Adrian's train compartment. Alexander asks Saffron to put in a good word for Adrian with Inspector Green. Despite her unresolved feelings for Alexander, Saffron begins to unravel mysteries surrounding the dead scientist. As if a murder case weren't enough, her best friend Elizabeth's war hero brother Nick arrives in town and takes an immediate interest in Saffron. Saffron learns Alexander has been keeping secrets from her, including a connection to Nick, who Saffron and Elizabeth begin to suspect is more than he seems. When another scientist is found dead, Saffron agrees to go undercover at the government laboratory. Risking her career and her safety, she learns there are many more interested parties and dangerous secrets to uncover than she realized. But some secrets Saffron will find are better left undiscovered. So the second book in the series, A Botanist's Guide to Flowers and Fatality, that was really good. It was interesting because back in the day, like the kind of flowers you sent people actually contain messages, and they have like a book of it's like a real book that you could pick up that tells you like what the flowers mean. So if you wanted to send like a message like I'm really in love with you, you would use a certain kind of flower, like a specific color rose or something like that. So if you send baby's breath, that means something too. If you send like a certain weed, that means I can't stand you. So that one was interesting for that reason. So I'm hoping this third one, kind of continues in that vein of like teaching me something new about plants and flowers that I didn't know. So yeah, we'll see. The next book I picked up is titled Moses, Man of the Mountain, and this is by Zora Neale Hurston. And I love this cover. So this is a retelling of the story of Moses from the Bible. And let me read you the summary. Zora Neale Hurston, the master storyteller, takes the renowned figure of the Old Testament and blends him with the Moses of Black folklore in a powerful parable of faith, authority, and redemption. Moses' story begins on the Nile and follows his journey as a conjurer, leader, and ultimately an abolitionist, freeing fellow citizens and confronting the Pharaoh of lore. Moses' story is told with wit, passion, and verve, continual hallmarks of Hurston's writing. So this interests me because I wanted to read her other book called The Life of Herod the Great. And this is not the prequel, but this is the first book, in that set of stories. So you have to read this first, and then you can read The Life of Herod the Great. So I've actually started this one, and it's nice because, like, I feel like the characters are Black just because of, like, how they speak and some of, like, their cultural um references in some of the things that they do. So I thought that was interesting. Like I'm definitely interested in seeing where this story is going to go. The next book I picked up is The Life of Herod the Great by Zora Neale Hurston. So again, Moses, Man of the Mountain is the first book, and then The Life of Herod the Great is the second book. So that's why I wanted to get them and read them together. And let me read you this summary. In the 1950s, as a continuation of Moses, Man of the Mountain, Zora Neale Hurston penned a historical novel about one of the most infamous figures in the Bible, Herod the Great. In Hurston's retelling, Herod is not the wicked ruler of the New Testament who is charged with the slaughter of the innocents, but a forerunner of Christ, a beloved king who enriched Jewish culture and brought prosperity and peace to Judea. From the peaks of triumph to the depths of human misery, the historical Herod appears to have been singled out and especially endowed to attract the lightning of fate, Hurston writes. An intimate of both Mark Antony and Julius Caesar, the Judean king lived during the 1st century BCE in a time of war and imperial expansion that was rife with political assassinations and bribery as the old world gave way to the new. Portraying Herod within this vivid and dynamic world of antiquity, little known to modern readers, Hurston's unfinished manuscript brings this complex, compelling, and misunderstood leader fully into focus. Hurston shared her findings about Hart's rise, his reign, and his waning days in letters to friends and associates. Text from 3 of these letters concludes the manuscript in an intimate way. Scholar-editor Deborah G. Plant's commentary, A Story Finally Told, assesses Hurston's pioneering work and underscores Hurston's perspective that the 1st century BCE has much to teach us, and that the lens through which to view this dramatic and stirring era is the life and times of Herod the Great. So this sounds very interesting to me. I wanted to get it, as a Christian. Like both of these stories are interesting. I just wanted to see what Zora Neale Hurston's perspective was and how she retold the stories. And then I also like that her books are well researched. So I know I'm going to learn some things about Herod the Great that I didn't know. And I didn't know that Moses was like in Black folklore. So I'm going to learn something about the Moses folklore that I didn't know from his story. So should be very good. The last book in my haul is The Kind Worth Saving by Peter Swanson. Now, this is the second book in the Henry Kimball Lily Kittner series. So the first book was The Kind Worth Killing. Now I have The Kind Worth Saving. And the third book is a book I reviewed earlier on my channel called A Talent for Murder. The summary says, there was always something slightly dangerous about Joan. So when she turns up at private investigator Henry Kimball's office asking him to investigate her husband, he can't help feeling ill at ease. Just the sight of her stirs up a chilling memory. He knew Joan in his previous life as a high school English teacher when he was at the center of a tragedy. Now Joan needs his help proving that her husband is cheating. But what should be a simple case of infidelity becomes much more complicated when Kimball finds 2 bodies in an uninhabited suburban home with a for sale sign out front. Suddenly it feels like the past is repeating itself, and Henry must go back to one of the worst days of his life to uncover the truth. Is it possible that Joan knows something about that day, something she's hidden all these years? Could there still be a killer out there? Someone who believes they've gotten away with murder? Henry is determined to find out, enlisting help from his old nemesis, Lily Kittner. But as he steps closer to the truth, a murderer is getting closer to him. And in this hair-raising game of cat and mouse, only one of them will survive. Now, this sounds good already. Now, Peter Swanson's thrillers, they can be a little unhinged. Like the people in them are just like, sometimes they just do silly things. And that's to carry the story along, but I'm here for it. Like I can throw that out the window because the stories are like so enjoyable. Like it's so many twists and turns and just, killing and mayhem. It just makes it all good in the end. So I hope this is as good as the other 2 books in the series. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into this one. So those are all of the books in my haul this time. Let me know if you've read any of these or if any of them sound exciting to you. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you the next time. Bye-bye.